Good morning, y'all. I'm Trish with a dish, and today our dish is going to be homemade sweet pickles. And it's very easy homemade sweet pickles. So we're here this morning at the house in Clayton, Georgia, beautiful North Georgia mountains, and we're going to make sweet pickles. Now, for you who know what real homemade sweet pickles taste like, you know what I'm talking about. They are delicious, they're crispy, they're sweet, and but this morning we're going to do it the easy way. And this is something my mama did probably for the last 20 years of her life. I don't know where she got the recipe, but we all loved it. And what we do, we start with Mount Olive, whole dill pickles. Now, I use Mount Olive because of the size of the pickle. They're not big, and actually, on the farm, when I was growing up, what we would have said was pickles that are too old. A good pickling pickle is about this size. It's a smallish pickle, not the giant ones. So that's what you want. And the only ones I seem to find are Mount Olive. So they're very good. Now, the first thing we do is we are going to drain this jar of dill pickles. And yes, I'm saying dill pickles, but we're going to make sweet pickles, because I hadn't ever bought sweet pickle that tasted like a homemade pickle. So, but these do. So we're going to drain these pickles, and then we're going to slice them up. Now, let me tell you what ingredients we're using. We're using a 46-ounce jar of these Mount Olive whole dill pickles. And we're using 2.5 cups of sugar and 3/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar and 2 tablespoons of pickling spices. Okay, now I'm going to rinse this jar out over here, because we're going to pack these pickles when we get them made. We're going to pack them right back up in this jar, in the same jar they came in. Now, I want to show you some that I already have made. And they're getting low. I don't like to run out of sweet pickles. They're getting low, so I'm going to make some more. But as you can see, that is a pretty dill pickle. I mean, a sweet pickle. So, and they are crunchy and just wonderful. Again, just the easiest way to make pickles there is. Okay, now, what we're going to do is we're going to take these pickles and we're going to slice them up. And I'm going to cut the little tip ends off first so that the pickle juice can get in the pickle. And we're just going to cut them probably about 1/8 of an inch thick. You can cut them whatever thickness you want to. They're going to pickle just the same. I just like a good toothy bite when I eat them. So let me pour this vinegar out over here. That dill pickle juice. And let's get a plate down here to set this on. Okay, now we're just going to cut these pickles up just like this, and we're going to do them all and come back and rinse and make our pickle syrup, and we'll be back shortly. Okay, now we've gotten our pickles sliced up, and I have put water in the bowl over them, and I'm going to slosh it around a little bit, and then I'm going to drain them. And then I'm going to run water over them again. And I'm going to let them sit in that water for a little bit. And while that's doing what it needs to do, getting rid of some of that dill pickle, I'm going to turn on my pot here Again, we're putting 2½ cups of sugar in our pot and 3/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. I might not have mentioned it, but these pickles take about 48 hours to make. When you when we get the syrup made and we get the pickles drained and packed back into the jar, then we pour the syrup, the cooled syrup, over those pickles in the jar, and then we turn them first upside down in a tightly sealed jar in the refrigerator. And you leave them overnight, and then the next day about the same time you turn it over. And then you do that again every day. In about 48 hours they're done. Now sometimes if I have run out of pickles, what I'll do is I'll put them in there and I'll leave them upside down for 24 hours, and then I'll turn them right side up and just leave them right side up, because you know they're going to be turned right side up in the refrigerator, so the ones that are on the bottom are going to get pickled. And anyway, that just makes it easier to use them, start using them faster. So we're going to set this cooker here, this little induction eye, and we're going to get this up to a boil, and you just want it to come to a boil. And it's real cloudy looking now because the sugar is mixed in with the vinegar, but when it starts to boil, that sugar will melt and it'll clear up, and that's what you want. And then at that time we're going to put our pickling spice in. So let's go ahead and do that, and let me let the pickles soak, and we'll pick back up in a second. Okay, so we have drained our dill pickles. We've sliced them up. We have put them in a big bowl of water and drained that out. Then we put them in another bowl of water, and we left them sitting in there until we got our syrup made with our 2½ cups of sugar and 3/4 cups of apple cider vinegar and 2 tablespoons of pickling spices. While we made the syrup, we let those soak in that water. Now I've just drained them off, that second water, and what I'm going to do is take these paper towels and just dry them, just press down and dry them a little bit. I don't know if that's a necessary step or not, but I always do it because I want as much of the vinegar to soak into the pickles as possible, and I don't really want it watered down with the water that's left on these pickles. So there we go, that ought to do it. Now what we're going to do is fill this same pickle jar back up with the slices. This is really so quick, and while the pickle syrup was cooling, I washed up everything in the kitchen that I had messed up making them, and which wasn't much. And so you can, do other things while you're making these. Kind of like these Danish pastries here on the counter. I made those this morning. I had dough in the refrigerator that I had made a couple of days ago, and I got it out early this morning and finished with some Danishes, and that's a video for another day, I guess. These pickles, I mean, I don't know about most families in the South, but where I grew up, down in South Georgia, all of us sweet pickles were on the table at just about every meal. So we always put up a bunch in the summertime when the cucumbers came in. So there we go. That gets them all in there, and just kind of shake the jar to get them all settled in there. Let's set this out of the way. And now we're going to strain the syrup. Now, I say strain because I just put the spices into the pan. I did not use a cheesecloth bag. You can do that, and but I prefer, I think the cheesecloth, the syrup gets thick, and the cheesecloth soaks up so much of the syrup. So I just use a little strainer and pour it in there slowly and strain those pickling spices out. Again, these are just so easy to make and so delicious. You will be amazed. Some of you I know will say they're better than homemade because they're just so crunchy. And I mean, what is potato salad without a good sweet pickle in it? And of course, pickle relishes that you buy are just awful. They don't any more taste like sweet pickles than anything. I don't know what kind of taste they have, but it's not good. But these, just chop them up, cut them up, and talk about some good potato salad. I mean, it's good. Okay, that just about has all the syrup in. I'm just raking these pickling spices around a little bit in here so that syrup runs on through those holes. Okay, I think I'm satisfied with that. Okay, now we'll use our napkin and wipe off the top of the jar. And this is a really good sealing lid that comes on these pickles. So if you just put it on tight, you won't have to worry about any accidents in the refrigerator. I never have. My cousin Shirley is a nut for sweet pickles. Like I said, we grew up eating sweet pickles every meal. And she loves this recipe, and when I told her about it, she said, and she tried it, she said, you gotta do a video. So here it is, that's the video. And these just go in the refrigerator, 24 hours this way, 24 hours this way, and they're ready to eat. And you can do 48 hours this way, and they're ready to eat. Okay, so that's it for today. I don't think there's anything else. Just eat them. Thanks again. We'll see you later. Bye.